Well, we went for a road test and got this engine good and warm to make sure the starter and everything included was working fine before we released it to the customer. Well, I guess we found out another problem. Seems after a conversation with the customer, we found another symptom and was able to verify that on the road. And that was that sometimes the engine would crank fine and sometimes it wouldn't. So in addition to having a battery problem, we also had a total failure to crank. I mean, no clicking or anything. We were able to catch it in the act, and what we found was a neutral safety switch that was intermittently open in the park condition. Now, in park or neutral, the switch should be closed, allowing a complete circuit between the ignition switch and the starter motor. We have right here a transmission identical to the one that is in this Chrysler minivan, and we have it set up to where you can see we have terminals stuck into the neutral safety switch, going to our ohm meter, and sure enough, we have OL, out of limits. We have a complete open circuit. Now you'll see I have a wrench on the manual selector. So I'm going to move this wrench and see what we do get. Maybe it'll work in park or neutral. Well, park is OL, open, and there's neutral. Neutral does work. We have the high resistance, about 4 ohms of resistance, but we do have a circuit in neutral. So probably this lady's van would have started in neutral but not park. Most owners, though, wouldn't think to put it in neutral to try to start it. So we replaced the switch on the vehicle, case closed. Now, a word on neutral safety switches. They're there for a good reason. As a matter of fact, you need to be aware that if you use any kind of a jumper system, for example, some of those switches that are on the market that you can connect between B+ and the switch terminal on the starter, and then stand back and push the little switch in your hand, which we'll use in a little bit on bench testing starters. But if you use one of those, or if the starter solenoid is built onto the starter and you use the simple pocket screwdriver to short between the B+ battery cable terminal and the switch terminal on the solenoid, beware. You may have the vehicle in drive or reverse and it could start up and run over you. So the vehicle's equipped with a manual transmission. Make sure the transmission is in neutral. And if it's an automatic transmission, make sure it's in park before doing any work around the starter. I actually knew a gentleman that was working on a large piece of equipment and decided to test the starter with a screwdriver shorting between the S terminal and the B+ terminal. The piece of equipment started and actually ran over and killed the man. So this is serious business. Caution is the name of the game in working around equipment. So let's get started on bench testing starters.